In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to patch a slow responding Western Digital drive to get the speed back up where it should be. First thing I'm going to demonstrate is what the conditions are of a slow responding drive. That is extremely slow read rate. And you can see that there's always a high read time. Here's a good indication that we have some sort of slow responding drive. We got a skip reset because it just kept slow skipping up to the maximum limit, and then it throws an error. The way we get around that is we turn up the skip threshold timer. So I'm going to run this, start this again, and I'm going to let it go just so we can see how high well, I guess we're going to get a decent indication here. See, this is a 160 gigabyte drive, and the remaining time is now 20 days, 22 days. It's probably going to get up to about 50 or 60 by the time this settles in. Anyway, you get the idea. It's going to take, it says it's going to take many, many days to clone this drive. Okay, so I've stopped HDDSuperClone, and now I'm going to start up HDDSuperTool, which is part of HDDSuperClone, and that involves adding the -- tool at the end of the command that would normally start HDDSuperClone. Alright, now you see we have a choice: ATA pass-through, SCSI pass-through, direct IDE, and direct AHCI. If you're using the free version of HDDSuperClone and not the pro version, you won't see the direct AHCI. That will not stop you, though. You could just put your BIOS in IDE mode and use direct IDE. You can also use the pass-through modes. Either one will work. This also works through USB, although there are some limitations I will discuss in a little bit. My drive's hooked up HCI, so I'm going to choose H for HCI. Choose the drive. Now here we're going to enter 7 for VSC, which is vendor specific commands. Here we have a list, and we're most interested in 4 and 5, mostly 4, which is WD Royal Marvel patch for module 02. It is the primary one that does the fix. I recommend that you do that one and not the mod 32 fix, unless the mod 2 fix doesn't take care of the whole issue. You can try then the mod 32 fix, but the mod 32 fix is a little bit more of a hack. So I'm going to choose number 4. Now you're going to want to start. You can read obviously the disclaimer there. You're going to want to start with choice number 1, read the module to a file and create the patch. So we're going to choose number 1. This can take some time because the drive is responding slowly. Okay, so if we look up here, it shows that it read the file, read the module, and then it created the patch, and it was successful in doing so. If you don't get this kind of message where it says that it basically doesn't give you any errors, and it says that it wrote the patch and you see data, then you're good to proceed. If you do not see this, if you get some sort of error, then that means your drive is most likely SCD, self-encrypted drive, which is locked, and you don't have access to the modules, and you cannot use this method. Now we're going to move on to the portion where we're going to actually write the patch to the disk. That would be option number 2. Enter, and this makes you type dangerous, just to give you the idea that you are playing with your data. Something could go wrong. I've had only one person report that after they did the patch, Their drive was unusable, whether or not it was because the head was bad when it tried to write, it screwed up the service area, or the drive just happened to die at that time. It's very hard to tell, but do this at your own risk. Again, this is going to take a little time because the drive is responding slowly. Alright, and as you can see, it was successful. It even says at the end, data verified. If you see that data verified, that means it wrote it. Then it read the data and verified that it was the same as what it was written. So now your next step is to power cycle the drive. Otherwise, it requires a power cycle before the change takes effect. I would also like to point out that when you do the patching, whatever folder you're in when you run the start HDDSuperClone or HDDSuperTool, it creates an original and a patched bin file based on the drive's serial number, and it also creates a folder based on the drive's model and serial, which has every action that was performed. Every time it performs an action, it saves it so that you can go back and get any files out as long as you save this someplace and restore the originals if needed. Okay, so I've power cycled the drive, restarted HDDSuperClone, and chosen the source and null for the destination. Same as before. We're going to connect, start, and watch our speed stay right where it should be in the 90s. Oh, little bad spot right there. Actually, that was an actual bad spot, so there was a bad sector right there. As you can see, it's cruising along nicely now. It says it's going to take 30 minutes. It'll take a little longer than that because the drive will get slower as it moves towards the inside of the disk where it's less dense. It'll have a slower read rate, but there you go. It's fixed good enough right now to recover your data. This is not meant as a permanent fix for the drive. You should not trust the drive at all because there is something wrong with it if it develops this condition, and it's not to be trusted at all. This is just to recover your data and then throw the drive in the trash. And I just want to make a reminder that this only works for Western digital drives. This patch does not work on any other drive.